What's up, Lightweights Podcast? Today, we have the host of the Unplanned Podcast clocking in 5 million TikTok followers, 5 million on YouTube, and 2 babies. Matt and Abby.
Hello!
Thank you guys so much for coming.
Of course.
We're coming to you live from Arizona, people.
Yeah.
God, okay, so you guys, family channel, did you always set out to do that kind of content? Like, were you looking forward to having a family and posting it?
Actually, no, not at all. I think initially we just had, I don't know, I had this crazy idea back when we were in college and just trying to figure out what we wanted to do. It was like, what if we started vlogging our life? And I love to make videos. Abby used to watch couples make these vlogs. And so we tried it and failed. Nobody watched our videos. And accidentally with TikTok, our TikTok dances really took off. And so I don't know, it just like kind of evolved over time. But yeah, to answer your question, no, we did not like set out with this idea.
When we started this, we were freshly married. We weren't even talking about having kids at that point. Like,
yeah.
So yeah, definitely wasn't the intention going into it.
Freshly married, living in Hawaii, the dream.
Yeah, I think, well, after TikTok became our job, we thought, well, we can do this anywhere in the world. Why don't we do it in Hawaii? And so we moved there, lived there for a year. It was awesome. It was really fun. I learned to surf. Abby would lay out at the beach. But I think
Abby read a lot of books in the sand.
You got sick of the beach. I always wanted you to learn to surf, but you never really did.
I'm terrified of the ocean. So I just was like, I'll try it for you, but it's not really my thing.
She never learned how to swim as a kid. So I think like swimming is just,
I can survive in the water.
You like doggy paddle sometimes.
I can float on my back in an emergency situation.
Like a turtle shell type situation.
I know.
Did you think that it was going to work going to Hawaii? Like, what if it didn't? What if people just stopped tuning in because you were in such a different place?
Totally. I mean, I think for us, luckily, even though our YouTube channel didn't work out at first, because of people watching our TikTok dances, we convinced them to come watch our vlogs on YouTube. And we started making revenue on YouTube that was more consistent. And so we thought, hey, we can live off this. This is money that can pay the bills. And we found a cheap place to live in Hawaii. I think rent was $1,600 a month in our little. It wasn't even a house. It was more of a little hut. It was so tiny. It was
500 square feet.
500 square feet, but it was on the beach.
House.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had low expenses relatively, and yeah, we also had very low risk, like not having kids and just being freshly out of school. I don't know. It
was a fully furnished place too, and we moved out there with just our suitcases. We didn't like pay $10,000 to move all of our stuff out. We bought a car while we were there. So we did it really cheap, and yeah, so to answer your question, we weren't scared. We were like, oh no, like we'll just rough it if this doesn't work out. We got to like live it up and just see where this takes us.
Would your friends and family think of that when you told them?
Why do I like not even remember? Like I feel like we just sprung it on them. Like I think it was November and we left in January. We're like, I think we found a house and it's in Hawaii and I think we're just gonna go. I feel like that's how do you remember it?
I mean, I remember everybody was telling us not to do it.
Yeah.
Everybody was saying, it was kind of like this small town mentality of, oh, you can't leave. You got to stay. You can't leave the, I don't know, the way everybody else is doing things. And we thought, hey, you know what? Maybe you're right, but we're going to take this risk. And even though we didn't live there long term, so glad that we did it.
I will say, I don't think it was a huge shock to anybody though, because we've always been like kind of out there. Like compared to everyone there, we were unconventional, I will say.
Yeah.
Just doing acting and getting married super young. Like we were always ones to just kind of go out there and take a risk. So
were there other people in your town trying to do the internet thing?
No, I mean, we were going to school in Springfield, Missouri, a small town in southern Missouri, just north of Arkansas. And so, yeah, I mean, like we knew of like another couple in the area when we started. I was like, wow, this couple has like 2 million subscribers on YouTube. Like it's crazy that like YouTube is their job. That's like the craziest thing. Like you have to understand 4 years ago, the idea of your job being making videos on social media was the craziest thing. Like I could not fathom that. And so we were just trying it. But
do you remember those first paychecks?
Matt was doing all this. I literally am so removed from it. I was like, okay, cool.
I mean, I know our first one we made, I think we made like 5 cents on our first day. And you got to understand.
Were you pumped?
I was so stoked.
Like, it's happening.
No, yeah. Like, because you work so hard for so long. It's kind of like a small business, right? Like small business owners, I'm sure that first, dollar that they make with whatever their business is so rewarding, because it's like, wow, this actually worked. Like someone actually cared enough to pay for my products. And so for us, like when YouTube said, hey, you have 4,000 subscribers now, you have 1,000 subs, 4,000 hours of watch time, and we passed all those thresholds, and then we got 5 cents day one of AdSense. I was stoked. That was really rewarding.
That's so cool. I remember it like it was yesterday. And even like with the TikTok Creator Fund and like everything, it's just like, it all just starts happening. It's wild.
Yeah. Really exciting day.
Real quick, guys, today's episode is sponsored by Colon Broom. Colon Broom is a high-fiber dietary supplement that uses the highest quality ingredients to support your gut and microbiome health. The main component is psyllium husk, which is scientifically proven to treat intestinal problems and benefit constipation, diarrhea, blood pressure, and weight loss. It activates good fiber, it catches unwanted material, creates gut movement, cleanses the colon. 4 simple steps. Colon Broom helps reduce bloating, digestion, and constipation problems. Plus, it works as a prebiotic and nourish healthy gut bacteria. Colon Broom helps you stay healthier, and it visibly improves your skin health. So join the biggest sale yet and get 6 months worth of Colon Broom with up to 65% off. Don't miss out on this limited time offer. Use code LIGHTWEIGHTS10 and get an extra 10% off your whole order. Click the link in the description below and grab your discounted batch of Colon Broom while supplies last. So thank you so much to Colon Broom for sponsoring this podcast. And now back to the episode. What was the hardest thing you guys felt like you wanted to tell your audience, being, I don't want to say like a family channel, but like I feel like there's a lot of opinionated people as far as raising kids. Was there something you guys felt like you wanted to share, but you didn't know how to share it with the audience?
It's a good question. I feel like I've been talking a lot, so I don't want to answer this. Since
I guess like something related to like our family that we wanted to share. I think something that has always been like first and foremost, most important to us is that we prioritize like, first of all, our kids, but before we had them, like our marriage and us. So I think we have, while people may look at our lives and be like, they're so public, there's no secrets, we do put a lot out there, but it all still feels relatively private because we have such a strong filter of like, this is between us and this is something that we can share. Even though some things we're willing to share are pretty like, okay, wow, that's personal. I feel like we are so in control of what goes out there that there hasn't been, I really want to think of an example of like something we wanted to share.
Oh man. Yeah, I think when you do lifestyle content on social media, you're conditioned to being very vulnerable because that's what people relate to. And I learned very quickly that you have to be yourself, and you can't fake that. You can't fake authenticity. And so it was like vulnerable at first, but you keep it real, and you talk to the camera and your audience as if they are one of your closest friends. And I think with the whole kids thing on social media, then you're like, oh, like, we got pregnant, and it's like, well, let's talk about this authentically and be real. And then you go around to giving birth, and it's like, let's talk about this experience authentically and being real. But then eventually you start to realize, okay, now I have like there's this new individual in the picture, and it's not Abby or I. We're making decisions on their behalf, and hopefully making decisions in their best interest. And so then when all of that got brought into the picture, we then decided, we got to be really careful with what we share and do with our kids on social media, since we want to really respect their privacy and focus more on our story as parents and not as much on their story as our kids.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I just thought of a couple of things that I was like nervous to share a little bit, that I wasn't going to be able to hide, was our pregnancy that we just had. Like when we found out, it was like not something that we were planning for. And so that video of me finding out about being pregnant, I was like, Matt, I'm really nervous to share this video because it's not the happy pregnancy test video that you typically see online. It was more of like the shock, almost like I was kind of sad in the moment because I was like, wait, this isn't what I planned for. Like, this, I never expected this. And I was like, man, I really don't want this to be taken the wrong way, because I think this baby's gonna be such a blessing. We're really so excited. It just was so shocking. And so we contemplated not even sharing it or even bringing that to our audience. Obviously, I was going to tell them that I was pregnant because it was going to be obvious in the coming months. But that element, I was like, I don't know. And overall, it was really well received. And I think a lot of people were even encouraged to see that, because they found themselves in that same position too. It doesn't mean that we don't love this child or that this child was a mistake or anything like that. And so I just didn't want that to be misunderstood.
In those first few moments when that video goes up, are you constantly checking it to make sure something, like, the audience is not taking it in a more negative way than...
Did you check it?
Oh man, I can't even remember. I think people were just, you know what? So we actually talked about everything on our podcast. And I think because people watched this longer video of us talking through everything that happened as far as, like, this
once we collected
pregnancy,
our thoughts.
Yeah, it was very well received, because it wasn't just like, oh, here's this short video of us finding out that we're pregnant by surprise. Most of the people had already seen this video on our podcast, an hour long, talking through everything. And so they fully understood where we were coming from, and the comments were very positive. I will say now that, after that podcast episode aired, I think it was a couple weeks later, we did show the raw clip. I think I want to say it was probably edited a little bit, but it is, we took this video of us finding out that we're pregnant and, spliced together the, 30 seconds of the most interesting moments from it. And now we get comments still today of people being like, wow, if their kid sees this one day, they're going to be so upset that their parents didn't want them. And it's like, that is literally not true at all,
Yeah. So I don't read the comments typically. And so I wasn't checking it as like a self-preservation thing. I was like, well, people can take it how they will, I guess. I don't know.
That's so strong. That's so, like, powerful that you have that ability, because I'm so weak where I want to look at everything.
It does get the best of me sometimes, but I think the longer we've done this, the more I've realized if this is going to be a long-term sustainable thing for me, I have to get out of the comments.
What's cool is if people are being really, really mean, like, if it's kind of mean, sometimes this won't happen, but if it's like really mean, like to a point where it doesn't even make sense, then people in your audience like will go to bat for you and be like, you guys are being crazy. Like, this video is not that serious. Go find something else to comment on the internet. And that's cool when your loyal fans will go to bat for you in the comments. I love that.
It's better you than me. So
yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Do you guys ever do live streams?
We really don't.
They terrify me.
Yeah.
They terrify me.
But our podcast, like, we don't really edit our podcast, so that it really is like a live stream.
No, what terrifies me is that I could watch people like live commenting.
That
I don't
yeah,
like.
That's true. I will say though, it is nice to know when you do a podcast, like, it's not like this is live right now. So if like I farted and I said, hey, you know what, that was embarrassing, like, can you cut that out? Like, you could cut that out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you guys
so you can cut that out, right? Like when I farted earlier?
I will.
Okay.
You guys do a podcast, you have your vlog, you do the TikToks. Do you run out of, and your parents, do you ever run out of steam? Like, I feel like you guys are always full throttle.
Well, thank you, first of all.
Yeah, you guys crush it. Like, I know the back end and like everything, and like the amount of content that you guys put out there is so incredible.
I think we're both high energy people. I think we're both like determined, like hardworking people, but we have built out such a amazing team, so that makes it way easier to keep going with this much enthusiasm.
Yeah, just recently we started having someone edit our TikToks because someone was editing our podcast, and when I say, someone edits, I still will get in there and do edits here and there and watch the video 1,000 times to give direction on, okay, like, let's make this change and let's do this and all that. But recently we've had someone like helping with the TikToks too, because up until like a month ago I've edited our TikToks, like literally every single one, and it's been so relieving. And I think just slowly helping put together a team to help us, that's why we're able to put out so much, I would say, because if we didn't have that, oh my gosh, we would both be working 100 hours a week. It just wouldn't be possible.
I think you'd be amazed by how little of the back end I have a part of. Like, it's nice because I just film and then other people take care of things. It's really incredible.
How long did it take you guys both to understand the camera? Even like everything is always just so nicely lit and like perfectly angled. Like the composition is just so good. It's so fun to watch. And like, obviously you can see we're watching it now, but I've consumed so much content recently and you guys are just very skilled at what you're doing. Like, at what point did you really realize you had a skill of it?
It's all Matt.
That's not true. I think Abby and I make a really good team because Abby is so 110% herself, you know, every day, 24/7. She's hilarious. I think Abby is just a funny person to be around.
No,
I think she's so clever. I don't know. Abby and I are we're the bestest of friends. And so I think like when we turn a camera on and we just are ourselves, I think people can connect to that because they're like, wow, I know someone in my life that is a close friend to me in that way. And with my editing background, I guess, because Abby is like so fun and like such a positive person to be around, I can like go in and see, oh, this was a fun moment from this video. And I would just like edit these videos in a way that would be the best moments, funny moments, authentic moments. And I think that's what made the videos good, I guess.
What do you enjoy most, podcast, YouTube videos, or TikTok?
Ooh. I really do like them all for different reasons. I know that's such a basic answer, but my heart is probably most in the podcast recently because it's such an unedited version of us just having a conversation. Yeah. And I think that the people that tune into our podcast really know me for me the most because it's really easy to see a short video that's like on TikTok or Instagram or something and misunderstand something or maybe not understand the full picture of me or who I am as a mom or things like that. But I feel like the podcast is a really nice way that we're not showing every detail of our lives, but they can really get a sense of like our personality and how our relationship is and stuff.
It's so interesting how you're taking all of this from a business angle, like behind the scenes angle. Cause I'm like, I almost hesitate to talk about this stuff on our podcast. Cause I'm like, nobody cares. I don't know. I feel like they want to hear more about like me as a dad and Abby as a mom and us as, you know, our relationship. And so it's just like, it's almost like scary talking about the business side a little bit.
Yeah. Well, because I really respect what you guys do because like I want to do it, but anytime I put anything super personal out, for me, I panic and I'm like, oh my God, like what if it just perceived the wrong way? And what if someone takes it and like, I don't know, I just get so nervous sharing that part of my life. So I see
Really?
Like I really respect how vulnerable you guys are and I think it's incredible. And even like this podcast and like I've done 1,000 YouTube videos, but like my vlogs are always filming other people. I'm never the focus of it. And even the podcast, it's like always the focus is somebody else. So to hear you guys, how you do it, I kind of want to absorb that so that I can put myself more out there. And I think a lot of people are too scared to put themselves out there. So the fact that you guys like crush it, I just want to understand how.
I know how you feel too, because I think with Abby and I, sometimes it's easier for me to just live and experience a fun moment. And it's like, oh, Abby looks so cute right now, I should take a video. Or like, Abby's being hilarious right now, I should take a video. But then when I turn the camera back on me, I'm like, what do I say? Like, I don't know what the frick am I doing? Because you're not watching yourself, you know? So I can relate to that.
Were you always editing and filming?
Yes.
Even as a kid?
Oh yeah, as a kid, I used to watch Film Riot when I was a kid, and Indie Mogul. Did you watch them on YouTube?
I watched Film Riot.
I thought their stuff was so cool, and I had a tumor when I was 12 and had to get it removed, and I was like, couldn't walk for a few weeks, and then wasn't able to like play contact sports for a couple months after that because of the recovery. And during that whole process, I couldn't like be in shows. I couldn't act. I couldn't do theater like I had been doing. So I learned film and editing, and that's where my love for making videos came from. Eventually that's what kind of led to the YouTube thing.
And did you want to do YouTube? Like, was that your passion?
Not at all. I actually wanted to be a singer. So I posted a video of me singing Baby by Justin Bieber when I was 13.
Oh my gosh, it's so good. Like literally high school me would just watch it on repeat because I was like, so cute and dreamy. And I wasn't even into Justin Bieber.
I can't believe that you would watch that video.
I would show people at lunch. It'd be like Nacho Supreme Day. I'd be like, have you guys seen Matt Howard?
He's singing to me.
And I thought that's all.
He didn't even know I existed.
I thought that's all it took. I was like, okay, I was like, I know that I have like a decent voice, so if I can like sing like Justin Bieber sings and just do one song on YouTube, like my version of Scooter Braun, you know, will come along and find me and get me connected to all the labels or whatever, and then that's how I can pursue music. And I posted that one video, and that was it.
Wow. How'd you guys end up meeting?
We met doing theater, so we were theater kids together. We met in 8th grade. And then started dating in high school, but we didn't really know each other very much in 8th grade. We were just friends, honestly. And then he asked me on a date, and the rest is history. We went to college together, got married in college.
Was it intentional to go to college together?
Yeah, we had been dating for a year. We're like, we're going to get married, so we need to live in the same city. And yeah, we were very serious from the very beginning. Like, I knew before I started my senior year of high school I was going to marry him. I really did.
I knew too. Like, we had basically decided we were getting married before college.
So wild now to think about that. Like me I was 17 at the time, and like I knew I was gonna get married to him and like have a family with him. It's crazy. So if you're in high school and no one's taking your relationship seriously, you know in your heart if you've met the person. Everyone goes and tries to marry their high school sweetheart, and it's kind of a mess. I don't know. It worked out for us.
You guys have such a cool story.
Thank you.
Like, actually, though.
It is crazy.
What do you think the pros and cons are of sharing your life so much?
I think when you open yourself up like that, I mean, the pro is that people can connect to your vulnerability, and I think that's really cool. The con is that people can also, because you're being vulnerable, hit you where it hurts.
Prey on your biggest weaknesses.
Yeah. And you could see some comments that could really, really hurt because they truly know you. Like, even though they don't know you like someone in person knows you, you're putting it all out there, and they can get a pretty good grasp on what would hurt you as far as comments go.
When you guys see people in public, you get recognized a lot. Do you immediately just feel like you just have a bunch of best friends?
I truly do. We went to Swig yesterday.
What's that?
And you've never heard of Swig?
You've never heard of Swig?
Go before
you gotta go.
What is it?
It is a soda shop. Have you seen those soda shops on TikTok?
There.
Literally, okay.
I thought it was like a bar. I'm like,
oh, you don't know us.
Soda
I know
shop.
you don't drink. I don't drink
It's
either.
a big Utah thing. Like, if you go to Utah, a lot of people in Utah don't drink coffee, so then soda shops became a big thing there. And so now they've kind of spread, and there's, a Swig is one of the soda shops.
And what, do they have like custom flavors?
Oh, yeah. Get the Princess Peach. It's Dr. Pepper, peach, and coconut cream. It's so good. It sounds kind of weird, honestly, but it tastes really good. Anyway, we went to Swig, and all of the girls in there, like, had watched our videos, and they were so nice and so fun. I was like, I just want to hang out in that Swig shop and make soda the rest of the day with them because they were so fun. And so a lot of times, like, getting to meet people, it's really rewarding with how, I don't know, I'm not trying to, like, how authentic we are online, because I'm like, you actually do know me really well, and like, if you like what you see, then you'd probably like to be my friend in real life. And so that's really cool. There's some instances where it's a little odd.
Well, if someone is like freaking out, like, it might make us uncomfortable.
No, I'm talking about like in the medical sense.
Oh,
like if I'm
if you're like naked at the doctor and they're like, I watch your videos, you know.
I don't know if it's the time. But thank you.
Yeah. Are we thinking of having a girl?
I think we've decided to hold off on that conversation for the time being, just because we have been in the thick of it. We're like seeing light at the end of the tunnel, but it's a lot of work with 2 under 2. So I think we're just going to hold off on a decision there, because I think we're on different pages at the moment.
How cute would a little girl be? Honestly. No, I truly love being a boy mom, and I truly feel like our family is complete. It doesn't mean that I don't want to have more babies, though, if that makes sense.
Right.
So I think it's just something that we need to talk about in the future, but I definitely am actually really loving not being pregnant. So I'm loving this streak we're going on right now, so I'm going to continue it.
Did you have any crazy pregnancy cravings?
I didn't. I felt kind of gypped of like the movie scenario. Did I have any? I liked caramel apples, which was kind of a weird thing that I never really ate normally.
No crazy like Taco Bell quesadillas and KFC chicken wings, like pairings?
Taco Bell in the first trimester both times.
Oh, wow.
But then if I eat it now, I'm kind of grossed out because I'm like, I ate that when I was feeling so nauseous. Remember I came home one day at like 10 a.m. with a burrito from Taco Bell?
Yeah.
You're like, whoa.
But yeah, you're not into Taco Bell when you're not when you're not in the first trimester, I would
Truly.
say. It's just a first trimester thing.
Yeah. So I didn't have any crazy ones, I guess.
Were there any late night runs that Matt had to run out to the grocery store?
Oh my gosh. I tried to get him to do that. I was like, Matt, go to the grocery store right now because I really want bagel bites. And he didn't get up out of bed.
He was probably busy.
No, I think
He was tired.
I think one time
It
that
was 2
happened,
a.m.
it was midnight, and I'm like, Abby, there's literally not a place I could go to right now that's gonna have bagel bites at midnight.
I wanted you to break into Fry's
And I think
get bagel bites.
also, might I add, we had our son was gonna wake up in like 6 hours. I'm like, we're gonna go to get bagel bites when our kid's gonna wake up.
I wanted bagel bites and those powdered donuts from
Ooh, the white ones?
Yes.
But I think I did. Okay, in Hawaii when you were pregnant, I did get you a McChicken one time randomly. It was like late at night, and I went.
That was
and
the
got
night
you.
before we found out I was pregnant. I was like, I
Yeah,
really
we
need a
did it.
McChicken right now, and I didn't even know why.
And
that
I
was
just
why.
and I just got it for you.
So
I
you
don't
guys,
like McChickens.
you guys moved to Hawaii. You got pregnant in Hawaii. Did that kind of, I don't want to say like throw a wrench in the plan, but like, what was the reaction from that? Like, where'd you navigate that?
We already were planning on moving a little bit closer, like not in the middle of the Pacific Ocean.
Yeah.
Before then.
Were you kind of over it?
I personally I'm such a social person, like at my core, that I felt pretty lonely there, to be honest. We didn't have a lot of community there. And so I was really sad a lot of times, and I was ready to do more, like be out more and see more people. Matt, on the other hand, I'm not going to say you're not social, but you're very content on your own.
Well,
I envy that about you.
Well, I think like for me, I fell in love with going out every night when the sun was setting and surfing and seeing the sea turtles and getting to look up and like see rainbows all the time. And like you never really came with me to the beach when I would go surf. And so I was like, yeah, why would you want to live in Hawaii if you're not going to the beach every day? You know, like that's why you live there. So I could totally see why you didn't enjoy it as much as I did.
I went to the beach a lot. A lot. I think there was a point where I was like, I'm kind of ready to do something different.
Would you island hop?
We went to
did
Maui
it
once. We
once.
went to did we go to any other? No, we only
We
island
have
hop.
since been to Maui again and
Yeah.
the Big Island.
Yeah, but no, we didn't do a whole lot of island hopping.
You guys did that TikTok sound. I think we can move here. I think we should live here.
Literally.
Like,
And then we did it.
That's so cool. We do it all the time. We're trying to figure out if we could do it here.
Really, we do. Everywhere Matt visits, he wants to move.
Seriously, we were in Oregon, and I was like, we should move to Oregon. This is beautiful. It's so pretty here, and the beach is great. Oregon beaches are incredible. Have you been?
No.
Like southern Oregon, like right next to California, there's all these massive boulders in the water, and it's just insane. We stayed in this place.
Is it freezing though?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, but you don't really care though. It's just so pretty.
Right.
Bandon, Oregon is a beautiful spot.
I want to go up there. I really want to go to Wyoming too. That's like next on the list.
Ooh, yeah, you should go. Wyoming's cool.
What family channels did you guys look up to or study from?
Ooh.
Truthfully, when we got going, we weren't even in the family space. It was more like couples that we were looking at.
Yeah, I mean, like and I honestly still don't really view us as a family channel. I would say I've always looked up to like Casey Neistat. I love the way that he tells stories, and so I always wanted to make our content cinematic and tell a story. I've looked up to Ryan Trahan. I love his way of storytelling as well. I've always just wanted to make videos that are good. Like even, I don't know, we like with one of our gender reveal videos, I knew that people would watch it because they were interested in the gender of our baby, but I wanted to make the story of it interesting and fun to watch. And I feel like that video I spent, probably 20 hours editing. But yeah, Casey Neistat and Ryan Trahan were probably two people up there that I look up to.
If you guys had an endless budget, what would your next gender reveal look like?
Oh my gosh.
Endless.
Truthfully,
I want to hear you go to the moon.
Truthfully, we have such simple gender reveals. Like it was literally at your mom's house, at your mom and dad's house, in their backyard. They bought a sign that said boy or girl. Like it was pretty simple.
Yeah.
But it was really sweet because I think truthfully the most important thing for us is that the people we love that are there.
Mm-hmm.
And so we could have had the select people that were able to fly out to see us be there and do this big thing at our house, or we could just have a little mobile party, and it was perfect, honestly. So it's really not as much about the budget. It's really just about the people that could be there. And we had all the great grandparents there and all the grandparents and cousins. It was so fun. If you watch our gender reveal video, what did they keep saying? They're like, I'm your second cousin once removed. And it was all of our cousins. And so I guess their relation to our children is our second cousin once removed. Someone figured out. So that's how they were introducing themselves. And so it was funny because the search bar on the TikTok said, what is a second cousin once removed? Because they were like trying to figure out the relation, but it's really our cousins. But yeah, we had so much family and friends there, and I think that's really what made it the most special. The budget really all went towards chicken minis. So I guess
a chicken mini.
You've never had chicken minis from Chick-fil-A? Chick-fil-A chicken minis? That's their breakfast.
Like a chicken nugget?
It's their breakfast, but it's like a chicken nugget and this like mini little biscuit. It is the best breakfast food on planet Earth. It is so good.
What's your guys' favorite mukbang around here?
Ooh. What would you say?
I mean, I saw you do all the cheesecakes from Cheesecake Factory.
Never want cheesecake again.
That will
because of that video.
Can't do it. I've seen that you've done some like food videos on your Instagram. I've seen like your reels pop up where you try some crazy stuff.
A lot of my YouTube was food mukbang, so I hit like everywhere in LA, and I feel like I ran out of places. But I would do a lot of more like mom and pop shops.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's think of a mom and pop here.
I can't think of like a good, I don't know if like what a mukbang would be.
Honestly, are so boring.
We kind of just go to the same places.
We go to the same places.
Flower Child, they don't have that.
I like
in
Flower
LA.
Child.
I like Flower. Yeah, it's
we
really
love
good.
Flower Child.
I don't know if that's like a mukbang place.
I'm really into Cavo now.
We love Kava.
Yeah.
Oh, Cava, yeah.
We love Kava.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are actually really good staples. I love Chick-fil-A, honestly. So maybe that.
In-N-Out or Whataburger?
I've never had Whataburger.
Definitely In-N-Out.
What are you waiting for?
Whataburger is not it.
Really?
Not it.
He told me it was bad, so I didn't want to eat it.
It's not good.
But truthfully, I will eat anything, and there's nothing. I don't think I've ever tried a burger that I was like, oh, I'm not going to finish that. Like, I would pretty much eat anything.
Yeah.
Do you know that I eat the same amount as Matt?
Really?
Yes.
When we go to like the Cheesecake Factory, we will get 2 meals,
split
an
them
appetizer,
exactly in half,
and a cheesecake, and split it all equally.
What's the cheesecake you get?
Well, so
White
we did
chocolate,
the video.
raspberry
We've tried
truffle.
them all. We have we know cheesecake at Cheesecake Factory.
We do.
And the best is the white chocolate raspberry.
We're experts.
But the limited edition cookie dough flavor they had was amazing, and honestly might even be better than the white chocolate raspberry one. Remember when we got the cookie dough one right before we had Augie? Maybe I was just so pregnant that it tasted good.
Do your taste buds change when you're pregnant?
Yeah.
Like crazy amount?
Yeah, I was eating, by the end, I was eating just the most bland food ever, or like basic.
Were you surprised by that, Matt?
Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
I really just wanted bread and cheese.
You did like want some funky things, but I would just say you would eat a lot. That was the main thing. Like you were eating even more than you typically would because you were growing a human, and then there's breastfeeding on top of that. And then last year Abby was breastfeeding and pregnant at the same time, so that was crazy. I don't blame her. But what's crazy is like I eat a lot of food. Like for a dude, I eat so much. So the fact that Abby eats as much as me, that's bonkers.
Yeah. I think it's because when I was a kid, my dad and my grandpa would like hype up the amount of food I would eat. So they're like, I was in first grade, and they're like, she can eat a foot long, and I'd be like, yeah, and I'd like challenge myself. So funny. I'm like, that's really what I prided myself on.
What do I have to look forward to on the dad end of pregnancy?
Wait, what does that mean? Are you going to be a dad soon?
No.
You don't want to be a dad?
No, I do eventually.
Oh, okay.
But like, what's that going to look like for me? Like, what did that look like for you in the beginning, even in like the middle of the pregnancy to the end of the pregnancy?
I'll be honest, the beginning is hard. Like it's really tough, the early stages with a newborn, because it's not like you have
asking pregnancy, right?
Oh, pregnancy.
Yeah.
Not like, okay, not when the baby's actually there. I think it's just making sure your woman's taken care of, just asking them what they need, giving them back rubs, getting them Taco Bell when they want it. Like, I don't know, just making sure. I had this like pregnancy book that I followed that Abby bought for me about like
I bought it to tell him I was pregnant.
About how to take care of like your pregnant wife, and like that was helpful. So because there's just a lot that you don't know about. But I think the biggest thing is just empathy and recognizing like you don't know what they're going through. So just being there to talk to them, because sometimes like it's like I want to fix all of Abby's problems, but she doesn't want necessarily it to be fixed. She just wants to talk through how she feels. So I think as a man, the best thing you can do more often than not is, rather than trying to fix the problem, just talking through it with them.
Yeah. How do you feel about going to doctor's appointments? Like, what would be your advice for a dad going to doctor's appointments?
Oh man, I think maybe just be sure to ask. Like for Abby, she doesn't really like to ask questions, so I would have to be the one to take charge and ask questions at the doctor, because we would always leave and she would say, oh man, I wanted to ask this, that, and the other. And I'm like, why didn't you ask it? And she's like, I don't know.
It's kind of scary, like advocating for yourself in a doctor's office sometimes. You know they're in such a rush. So I'm like, oh, I don't want to like bother them. But like Matt was so good about speaking up for me, honestly, for both of us during that. So I didn't feel like alone at the doctor's. Like I was like, oh, I don't like, felt like a team, which was good.
Did you guys do birthing classes?
We didn't.
No. Well, we did one online one. It wasn't even birthing though. It was really about breastfeeding and like changing diapers, and it was about taking care of the baby.
Yeah, we honestly didn't do.
No, they gave birth advice too, because remember they told us to use that TENS machine thing.
Yes, but like we didn't do a birthing class, and honestly, it probably would have been helpful. I'm sure there was probably something in there to walk you through dealing with breastfeeding after birth, because like even after we had already had one kid, like the whole breastfeeding thing was very stressful for Abby. And then like I'm trying to get it latched.
Yes.
And then like our baby isn't eating, so then I'm worried about our baby getting food because our baby wasn't eating. And so just like being prepared, knowing that that's gonna happen or could happen before would have been nice.
Yeah.
Because you know it causes conflict in relationships, and I've talked to so many couples where they got in like big fights around breastfeeding. As crazy as that sounds.
Weird. Like, but it's so real.
Yeah.
Both times.
It's not easy.
You think we had it down by this first one? Nope.
You know how
Same thing. Square one with number 2.
You know how like humans don't just like come out knowing how to walk? It's not like they just come out knowing how to breastfeed. Really, you have to kind of like walk them through. You have to like put their mouth in the perfect spot and position the nipple in the perfect spot.
It is literally like Animal Planet.
It's a skill. Like breastfeeding is like a skill that you have to learn. It's not just just put them right by there and just.
It honestly feels so unnatural for me. Like I was like, what in the world is happening?
Yeah.
Was the second pregnancy easier than the first pregnancy?
No. And that's because I had a baby to take care of too. So I think both pregnancies for me were relatively easy. Like I was able to work out through them, and then I wasn't super sick. I did throw up a decent amount in the first trimester, not even decent, a few times. And so both pregnancies were pretty easy, but then the fact that I had a baby to take care of throughout the second one made it a little bit harder, I would say. And more exhausting because I was also nursing at the same time. So then I was just like, man, I'm taking care of 2 babies at once.
Right.
But yeah.
Where'd you go when you proposed?
Ooh, yeah. So that was Disney World.
That's big leagues.
Yeah.
He loves you.
He does.
So yeah, I was there for the summer in Disney, like in Orlando, for this like summer leadership thing, and I was there all summer, and Abby came down to visit me while I was there. I was working at McDonald's at the time too. Like it was just I needed a job for the summer, and so luckily McDonald's was willing to hire me. And I thought,
What'd you do there?
So it's funny. I was working at the largest McDonald's in the world. so they have like 3 stories, I think, and they have like an arcade. I forget if it was 1 or 2 stories.
Sell
if it was 2 or 3 stories.
Wood fire pizzas.
Yeah, it's a really
they
cool
have a
McDonald's.
Sunday bar.
It's on
Waffle bar.
Yeah, it's just right there in Orlando by Disney. And so I was working there, and Abby came to visit. I decided, you know what? This girl loves Disney. She's always gone there her whole life. And she even told me that if I proposed in Disney, that it would be the coolest thing ever. But I told her probably a few months before I left for the summer that, you know, it just wasn't going to happen, that I thought proposing in the summer was going to be too soon because we weren't going to be able to get married till the following summer, just with how everything was working out. So I thought a 1-year engagement, or even potentially engagement that was longer than 1 year would be just too long. And so, yeah, she wasn't on to me. She didn't think I was going to propose.
Well, I wasn't on to because when I said that, we didn't even have plans to go to Disney. So
oh, yeah, we did not.
It was like, he always brings that up, but I was not even thinking about it at this time.
But she came into town. I had bought the ring like the month, I think it was before I left for Orlando that I'd gone ring shopping and bought the ring, had it all ready to go. And yeah, when you came into town, I just popped the question.
He was trembling. He asked someone to take a picture, and I remember being like, we just got here. Why are we going to take a picture right away? Keep in mind, we didn't do social media or anything, so I was like, why do you want a picture so bad right now?
Was it a random person?
Random dude.
Just a random dude. Yeah, I was
And
like,
you gave him
hey,
your camera?
yeah, just my phone. It was just on my phone.
It's recording. And then you can hear the guy on the video. He's like, oh.
What the hell?
He's like,
Yeah.
this is like an important video I'm taking all of a sudden.
We had no friends, no family. There was literally just us.
Did you have to ask permission from Disney?
No.
You just did it.
I just did it, yeah. Yeah.
Well, also the camera was just his phone. So
Yeah, it wasn't like...
It wasn't, because did you see that video of that spot someone proposed and then the employee runs up behind him and like grabs the box?
No.
What?
Oh, you haven't seen that video?
What
No.
happened?
Someone proposed in Disneyland where like all the proposals happen, but you have to pre-schedule them with Disney. So
Are you kidding me?
I think he hopped the barricade or whatever he did.
Wait, is it where you throw the coins in the fountain?
I don't know exactly where it is.
Wait,
It's in
that's-
front of the castle.
That's so bad that they would just run up and take his ring box.
Yeah, so the guy, like, I think he was like getting down on one knee, and the employee saw it happening, and he runs over, grabs the box, and like, come on, and scurries them over, and the couple's just like looking around. So that's why I asked.
That's horrible.
That is horrible. Yeah, we definitely did not
No, we
have
did
that.
see someone else get engaged the same day that we get proposed to, the same day we got proposed to, and they did not look happy.
It did not look happy because she was like probably 45, and it was
What's wrong
definitely
with that?
no, nothing wrong with that, but it was like it was definitely a second marriage for both of them, so it wasn't as special. Probably, I don't know. I'm gonna
They were doing it for the photos.
I'm probably offending someone right now, but basically
You're
you could tell.
offending me.
You could tell. Okay, here's the deal. No, it could be so special, and you could be getting married at 45. No, I don't mean that. But for them, it was very clear that it was pre-planned. She knew what was going on.
Yeah.
It wasn't a surprise for her, so she's just like, oh.
It was for the photos, and
Yeah.
like they smiled, and then as soon as the cameras were away, they were just like,
Oh, wow. So you
Yeah.
had no idea what was happening for you?
no, I didn't know. But then I think by the time that you were like shaking when he was taking a picture, I was like,
Yeah.
something's actually up right now because I had my arm around him. I've never felt you do this. Do you remember like trembling?
Yeah.
Which we had,
I was so
talked
nervous.
about getting married. We'd even discussed dates. So it's like I was going to say yes. So I think it was just like the realization that like a big moment was happening. That
Yeah.
and then afterwards we were literally just running around Disneyland having fun. I was 19. Like it was literally like we were just teenagers having a fun day at Disney.
Did you tell anybody?
Yeah, I asked her parents for permission first. I told my friends, I told my parents. Yeah, like people knew that I was proposing.
Where'd you keep the ring?
I think just like in my sock drawer.
Same.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sock drawer. That's funny. Yeah, and for the rest of the day we just went on rides. It was great.
Did anybody know what happened? Were you guys that couple? Did they know?
I think we ran into the dude that held my phone to take the video for us like later in the day.
I don't think anyone else.
But like,
knew,
yeah, people didn't really recognize us after that. I don't know. This is also like, this is far before like social media and everything too.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool though.
Yeah, it was sweet.
After labor, what does your body feel like?
So good.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you
Imagine being in the worst pain in the world and then all of a sudden you're like not in pain anymore. Or at least the intensity of it is so much down. Like, remember after having Augie, I was literally like, what are they giving me? Like, am I kind of high right now? I don't think I was. I think I was just relieved. Or no, from having Griffin. I was just relieved. I was like, wow, it's amazing.
the same feeling both times?
I think so. I mean, I really wasn't in pain the second time until afterwards because it was a C-section. So I was numb for everything. And then I do remember like laying down and it didn't feel like the huge weight was on me anymore. I was like, wow, that's relieving. Like nothing's crushing my ribs at this point.
Is it true men will never know the pain of childbirth?
No shot.
No chance.
No shot. Dude, it's so intense. And that's why it blows my mind. Like they want to do it again. Isn't that crazy? Like they go through that much of pain and then they're like, yeah, let's do it again. Like,
Sign me up.
Did you see what I saw? Because like you look like you were not doing too good. Okay, like it's a lot.
You always make it sound like I was.
I saw.
I wasn't like loud. I wasn't screaming.
I witnessed you like the closest you'll ever probably get to death in your life. Like, childbirth is so intense, dude. It's so intense, and there's so much blood, and it's just like people don't talk about that.
Matt's traumatized, but I would do it 4 more times. Like
4 more times. Did you cut the umbilical cord?
Yes, I did. Whoa. I think it's the hormones that are released by your body afterward that like
maybe that's why you feel so good after having a baby.
Trick women.
The hormones are incredible.
It's literally biology tricking them into wanting to have more kids.
So yeah, I would do it again and again.
It's like she forgot everything she went through so that she'll want to do it again.
That's so funny.
And I look at it as like such a good day. Like he looks at it as like, wow, that's pretty scary.
We had to run to the hospital.
He didn't get the hormones.
Yeah.
No, I think it's so crazy that like so many women do this. Like literally every single person on this world is here because someone did that. But it is incredibly intense and scary. Yeah. And it's just so common though.
Did you want a big family when you were growing up?
I did, yeah. I don't want like a huge family, but I would love to have like 3 or 4 kids.
Like a football team. 10 more.
If I honestly would keep going, I think it's so fun and I love kids. Like they're a blast. The 2 little ones we have are so sweet.
When you have kids, you'll have so much more respect for your parents and what they did for you because you just realize how much work it is and it's a lot. Like I don't know, I respect my parents a whole lot more now that I'm a father and that I've seen Abby go through what she went through and I'm seeing her breastfeed because my mom did that for me and my dad did, you know, not the breastfeeding, but my dad parented me.
My dad never breastfed me. I just want to make that clear.
Clear.
What advice would you have for somebody who's about to have a baby?
I would say don't be afraid to ask for help. I think that it's really easy, especially as a mom. You've met every single need for that baby for 9 months. And the thought of allocating some part of sustaining that life feels so shameful in a way, or it can feel that way, or guilty or scary even. But the times where I have like allowed other people to step in that like love our child so much. It's not like I'm just finding someone random. I'm talking about the child's grandma or grandpa or like a dear friend of ours. It has been like it's been so good for me and for the baby. And then anything that makes me a better mom for my kids, it's like I can justify it more too then, because it's like, oh, I'm not being selfish. I'm just, you know, doing something so I can be a better version of myself for my kids. So don't be afraid to ask for help. I don't think we weren't made to do this alone. It's very challenging and it's good to take a break every once in a while.
I think it's a very Western idea to think that you need to raise your kids by yourself without grandparents, without friends, without, you know, anybody else helping, because, you know, they say it takes a village for a reason. And I think in other cultures, a lot of times, like it's a very communal thing to raise a child. And so having Abby's parents now living with us has been the best thing, because it Abby's parents have like such good relationships with our kids, and rather than having to hire a babysitter when we go out to dinner, like it's Abby's mom and dad watching our children and they're bonding, and it's so cute to see the bond that they have. And then it also gives us the break that we need so that we can come back and be the best parents possible. So I think raising your kids with family or friends around is just the best thing for them. And
don't get me wrong, like people do comment and message probably every day saying like, don't have kids if you can't take care of them. And they get so mad if they see like an instance where we're not like watching our kids. That comment I am so numb to. I am numb to comments about me as a mom also, because I truly know in my heart of hearts I am a great mother. And so like that confidence does not come from a random person on the internet that doesn't know me. It comes from watching my kids and seeing them grow and the relationships that I have with them. I'm like, I know I'm a good mom. So yeah. If someone says something like that to you, you know in your heart of hearts what type of parent you are. And the fact that if you're worried about being a good parent is an indicator that you're a great parent. You know what I mean? So you don't have to feel guilty.
You mentioned the alone time. How important are those date nights for you, especially once you have the baby?
So we didn't skip 1 week of date nights, I don't think. I think we were 7 days post-baby, and we like took that time. We went to Postino's.
Yeah, that was our first one. Last night we went horseback riding and saw the
really?
sunset. Yeah, it was fun. Abby literally got an IUD yesterday and then went riding horses in the same day, which I didn't know that when I scheduled.
Once you've had a baby, you can do anything. Trust me.
When I scheduled the horseback riding, I didn't realize it was the same day that she was getting a freaking IUD. But then I did look it up, and apparently you can still do that in the same day. But I told her, obviously, like, if you want to cancel this, we can. But it worked out.
Yeah, but it's very important. At least for us, a relationship is different, but it's been really good for us.
So I have a question for you.
Please.
Why is this called the Lightweights Podcast?
Do you know Ilya, David?
Yeah, yes.
Friend?
Yes.
So he used to be part of the podcast, and we never could handle our alcohol. So even like a couple shots in, like we'd both be really like out of it.
That would be mad.
Wow, you drank on the podcast?
That was like the intent, but me and Ilya had like this relationship that blossomed on the internet. So we became friends because we wanted to make David jealous. So him and I became friends. We started filming a lot of videos together, a lot of mukbangs together. And then we were like, we should start a podcast together. So we started a podcast together, and then we were like, what do we both hate? Drinking. We should both do a podcast about drinking. So we rented a cabin, and like we were gonna get drunk in the cabin, but we both hate drinking. We only did it one day out of the whole weekend that we were supposed to do it. And lightweights because we can't handle our alcohol.
That's funny. I'm the same way. Abby makes fun of me because I'll have like one and I'll be like, wow, like I'm feeling it right
He'll
now.
be like, was I acting weird? I'm like, you had one beer.
It's a
like,
cheap
you're fine.
Here's the thing.
Date.
Here's the thing
It's
though.
a cheap date.
Yeah.
Oftentimes when we like get to a restaurant to eat, I will like, sometimes I have this bad habit of like not eating. And so then I'll have like alcohol on an empty stomach, and I feel like it hits you harder when you have nothing in your system at all.
Way quicker.
So yeah, that's definitely what it is. Because you have one with an empty stomach, like you can feel it.
Yeah, there's like maybe 1 or 2 days out of the whole year where I'll drink, but now that when I do it, it takes out like 2 or 3 days because I have to recover, and then I'm like still out of it.
How much are you drinking?
A lot.
Oh my gosh!
But that's why I don't like doing it.
Can you just have like one glass of wine?
But I don't even want it at that point because it's like I only drink to get drunk. I don't like the flavor of it.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. Like I'd rather go to, what was the soda place? Chugs? Swigs.
Swig?
I want
Yeah.
to go to Swigs.
Yeah.
I like eating my food.
I've
calories.
literally never been drunk in my life.
Ever?
Abby, you've been drunk on our cruise. You literally had too much to drink.
I was not drunk. Okay, do you count this as drunk if I went to dinner that same night?
I
was walking.
Okay.
I never threw up. I wasn't even dizzy.
You weren't like drunk, but you were like definitely like, I cannot operate a vehicle right now.
I was tipsy.
What do
you drive?
No, she could not drive.
I could not have.
When do you consider, like, she was not like blackout drunk, but she definitely had drank a good amount. And when we did that wine tasting in Europe, we were in Italy and we did the wine tasting, and they kept bringing us glass after glass. Yes, you were like,
Were you
tipsy.
drunk?
No, but like I could feel it. I could definitely feel it.
The wine in Italy is so strong.
What about your wedding day? I know you had Sprite.
We had Sprite.
We had Sprite at the wedding.
I
had one beer.
I didn't have a drop of alcohol at our wedding.
I think I had one beer because I just really wanted to fully enjoy the moment, but I just turned 21, so I was like, I need to have a drink at my wedding, you know?
You felt like it was the social thing, almost like other people do it, like this is where I'm going to try it?
No, I mean, like I had already had alcohol before my wedding, but I don't know, it kind of like, I will say if you have one drink, it kind of can take the edge off sometimes. I do sometimes get social anxiety, so like if you have a drink, it can just make you a little bit like, you know, to relax a little bit.
Did you drink today?
What was that?
You drink today?
No. But like
That'd be crazy.
But it is a bad like I want to be careful when I notice myself like wanting to move towards something like that, or if I'm like really down and I think, hey, maybe I could just like have a drink and it'll make me feel better. It's like that's where you need to be careful because that can lead to I think a slippery slope.
Right. There was literally only one time where I took a shot. Caitlin, do you remember when that was? What was that? What was I filming? Oh, I was doing a public speaking event, and that was the only time in my life I've ever like, I just walked over and I took a shot, and I was like, because I was so terrified to do it.
That is scary.
Yeah, to be up in front of people like that, and then they're asked. It was a Q&A too, so like you don't know what they're gonna ask.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have any other questions for me? Anything?
Ooh.
When are you gonna be a dad?
Yeah, when are you going to be a dad?
Maybe in like the next 1 to 2 years.
No way.
Yeah, because we're recently married, so we want to like have that time. And,
I think
like,
that's good.
Really coast and
Yeah.
just like enjoy it. Like I love the idea that if we wanted to go to Wyoming, like in a week or in a month or in 2 months. Like we can kind of plan it and just go.
Yeah.
Like we have 2 dogs, and that's like, I don't want to say a burden, but it adds so much planning now, because either they come with us and we have to find a hotel that they can stay in, or we have to find someone to watch them, and are they good to watch them for those 5 days? Like it adds so much more to it already.
Yeah.
So I think we kind of want to just like experience it a little more before.
That's good.
Yeah.
I'm glad we waited we waited a couple years.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's so cool you guys moved to Hawaii.
That was fun.
It was fun.
That was wild.
Was it really fun for you though? Like, would you say?
By the end, I was ready to go, but the fact that we did it is fun.
What was like the most wild experience there?
I mean, it just sounds kind of lame, but
Oh my gosh, no, we hiked 3 peaks. That was like crazy.
Yeah.
This hike, you go up
People have died
and
on
down,
it.
up and down, up
Did you
a
know
mountain.
that?
3 mountains. Yeah. 3 mountains.
3 peaks. It's called 3
Down,
peaks because
down.
you hike 3
It
peaks.
took us all day.
Yeah.
I mean, and it was excruciating exhausting. And yeah, people have died on it. It's pretty scary.
Was it dangerous?
If the weather conditions are good, it's not. I mean, it is actually dangerous even then still. I'll show you.
Yeah.
We're like on the side of a cliff. There's nothing to catch you if you fall. Basically,
Right.
you're going down.
Yeah.
What year was this?
2021.
So post-pandemic.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like in Hawaii, you still had to wear a mask in all the stores and everything. But outside,
We were on a
you're
hike.
fine.
There's no one around.
Yeah, you
us.
don't wear a mask on a hike.
That was the scariest. That was the craziest thing we probably did there.
Yeah,
We did
totally.
anything else crazy?
I think just, I mean, I surfed some decent sized waves there, and that's freaky. Like
You see sharks?
I never saw a shark. I want to say I saw dolphins, I think. I saw a lot of sea turtles. I love sea turtles, dude. They're so cool.
So cool. That honestly might be my favorite animal.
But you don't realize how like scary water can be until like you're out in the ocean and like
It's
there's
so
massive
powerful.
waves, and you're like, this could kill me right now. Like if I get sucked under, like I'm done. So
Would you ever try to go out by yourself, or were you always with people?
oh, I went by myself all the time.
Really?
Yeah, all the time. But I wouldn't go out in like 10-foot waves, no shot. But like in Hawaii, like 10 foot it's big. Like the way they measure waves there.
In Hawaii, a 10-foot wave is like 20 feet.
I don't know. Yeah, there's like it's so relative. Like it's such a measure waves differently. Some people measure waves from the back of the wave, and then some people measure them from the front. And in Hawaii, you like measure them from the front. So like a Hawaii 10-foot wave is freaking massive. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's crazy. Good times.
What's up next for you guys?
What is next? What'd you say, Abby?
I think we've just recently started having conversations with like about that, because we're like 2022 we had a baby, 2023 we had a baby, 2024 we're not having a baby. So what are we gonna do? Are we gonna get a dog? I kind of want to start a coffee shop.
Can we travel?
Are we gonna travel? There's like a lot of options.
I'm dropping music. Do I
go on
tour?
tour?
go on tour with the music?
I become a tour wife.
First,
like,
people need to listen.
options are endless.
Yeah. First, people need to listen to the music first. But
Please.
luckily that we have been getting streams on Spotify.
People have been listening.
So that's been cool.
People are loving it. By the way, go to Matt Howard on Spotify. Subscribe. I don't know what you do on Spotify.
I think you can follow me. You can follow people on Spotify.
So yeah, there's a lot of like, it's exciting to think about like the different avenues we could take at this point.
Yeah.
So
Are you doing music every day?
Right now I'm
Yes.
putting out a song a month. I'm trying to do more than that, but I'm just like committing to a song a month because I know I can realistically do that. And yeah, I've like started taking voice lessons again, which is weird, and making content around the music because I want people to know the story behind each song and why it is meaningful to me. And it's been fun because it's like something that I did when I was a kid that I always wanted to do. And it's kind of like one of those dreams that like when you're an adult, you're like, okay, I have to like be an adult now, and all my childhood dreams have to kind of go to the side. But it's cool that I'm getting this opportunity to pursue it again at 25. So we'll see what happens.
Would you do an album?
Totally. But I've learned from a promotional side, albums are not the move when you're new to music, because you want to put promotion behind every song rather than promoting one album. Because say someone listens to the first song of the album and they hate it, they're not going to listen to the other, 7, 8, 9 songs. But if you just constantly release singles, each single is an opportunity to make a song that people might like. And I'm just kind of seeing which style of music people like, what style I like, because I'm new to writing. I'm new to doing this. I've only written like 7, 8 songs in my life. So like I'm pretty new to this. But it's been fun so far.
Who do you look up to, songwriter wise?
Oh, so many people. I think initially the first song I put out, Jake Scott, was a big inspiration. I think his music is really wholesome, and I can really connect to it as a married man, and I know a lot of people in our audience connect to it as well. So that was like inspiring. I really like Jake on TikTok. He's like really blown up. Golden Hour. Have you heard the song Golden Hour? Super inspiring. That he's been so successful just by marketing his music on TikTok. And then who else? Yeah, I don't know. Just Charlie Puth is another person who I think makes really good music.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, thank you guys so much for coming out and making
Thanks
the drive.
Yeah, totally. This was awesome.
Guys, check out the Unplanned Podcast. It's going to be linked down below. Make sure to subscribe to their YouTube channel. Follow them on TikTok.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Guys, go check out Matt Navi and listen to Matt on Spotify.
Woo!
Thank you.
Cool. Lightweights. Lightweights out.